Hey, yo, tribe.
What's up, what's up, what's up? Welcome to the Disconnect, where the reconnection is the dialect. I am Eyebee Knowing, and this is my co-host.
Yes, J-No the Sun King. We in here.
We in here. We have a special guest today, but we're going to get into all of that right after.
Yes, right after we recap. If y'all missed the last episode, you definitely got to tune in and rewind back. We're gonna continue this part 2. It might be a part 3. I don't know, depending on how heavy and intense we get in this episode, though.
But before we do that, we're going to hit y'all with the sponsor.
Yes, Lord. So we're going to shout out. Excuse me, I'm talking about shoot out. See, I'm listening
Definitely not the shootout.
Yeah,
definitely not no shootout.
Listen to too much trap music. I'm talking about shoot out.
For real.
So, but nah, we definitely want to shout out Wildlife Vodka. Make sure you're drinking responsibly. Responsibly. Right. Look, I can't even talk today. What's going on with me?
I don't know what's going on with you today.
Gotta
slow down.
Slow down.
Drive slow, homie.
Yeah.
Drive slow.
So we definitely want to give them a shout out. Man, we appreciate the love and support that you guys have been showing so far. We're gonna keep this thing rolling.
And we have gotten up to over 200 followers. So we trying to get up to maybe 300 followers by the end of the week. That'll be great if y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to share the page on all platforms.
Yes, Lord, and that's organic. We ain't really promoted yet. We just put a video out, and the people that just started gravitating towards it. So
on the first video,
on the first video, right? Out the muscle.
So thank you for the love.
Exactly. So,
but so a continuation or whatever. We were talking about the Adam and Eve story, like the creation.
Yes.
Right?
So we were. I think before we were going to get into the carnal side of it, but before that, we were talking about the Kundalini. I feel like I left out some pieces about the Kundalini energy. So just sharing a little bit of information here and there. For y'all that don't know, with the Kundalini energy, with the Adam and Eve story, what it represents, the serpent represents the Kundalini energy, as I said before. Also, if you know, in the bones of your body, if I'm familiar, you have 33 bones, the 33 vertebrae, which represents also your Kundalini energy.
Right. Also
represents, so like in masonry, that's why the highest form is a 33rd degree. Well, American masonry, I'm going to say that.
Right.
In American masonry, is the highest degree is 33. But we all know knowledge is 360.
Right.
So those are all like the little things that it represents. Also, when you look at the story of Jesus, all this is talking about the chakras elevating. As he goes to the last place, he goes to the place called Golgotha. So Golgotha actually means the place of the skull. So this is his journey through his chakras.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so when Jesus didn't die, what people understand in the story, the allegorical story,
right,
is that he died. He was at the age of 33,
right,
which is also goes to the age of 33, which is talking about the Kundalini energy.
Right.
So he become an ascended master.
Right.
So that's what the true story is about.
The Christ consciousness.
Christ consciousness. Right. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just wanted to add those little tidbits in there. But we like to also introduce our guest, Fife. You know, I know you're very versed in this information and biblical knowledge. So if anything, you want to share, and feel free to hop in, brother, and just elevate us and let us know where you at, on your spiritual journey.
I'm still on it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I know that's right.
It's a constant journey. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. It's a constant journey.
Well, do you have any? What is your take as far as like the Adam and Eve story? Do you feel like it's an allegory story, like the little boy that cried wolf, or you feel like this is something
it's
that
allegory.
actually
it's
allegory? Okay.
But I think there's some what you call truth behind the story.
Right.
And my thing is, like I told you before, Adam and Eve are not my father or mother. I didn't come from them, and the thing is, I listen to words. I was born
right
out of the matrix or the womb, and when I read the story, they are created.
Right.
If you look at creation today with the technology and the AI and so on.
If you don't mind, brother, you might come closer to the mic.
Yeah.
Even with the cloning, so I think Adam and Eve were just the first clones that they actually
right.
told us about.
Right. Also, so that's kind of going into the Anunnaki and stuff like that. Who do you think was cloning them? Do you think it was the Anunnaki Elohims, or you think it was the like if you going that far into it, who did this cloning?
All of them. I would say everybody did, because if you have the Anunnaki, the Elohim, you have what they say with the good and the bad. It's like you could be a hater or whatever, but they can come together for a common good.
Right.
For a common bad, or just for a common cause. And I think with Adam and Eve, like I said, not my belief, it's just my understanding, they were created to be slaves.
Mm-hmm.
And the story with they did a certain act or whatever. They had what you call it, sex before. Yeah, they had sex. They're supposed to be 18 as a woman, 21 as a man.
Mm-hmm.
from my understanding, they were influenced by somebody else to, carry out that act and so on. But I just think they were created to be slaves. And I don't really think a lot about it.
I mean, it looked like that today, though.
Yeah.
It's still going on.
So let's give them a little backstory for the ones who don't know about the story of the Anunnaki. The history of it is that basically that they had came to mine the gold. From what the brother was saying, they basically used the humans and to mine the gold and stuff like that.
Supposedly from Nibiru.
Right, from Nibiru.
Right,
and so
yeah.
and so when you think of the term heaven, the original word heaven just means the skies up in the air.
Right.
So when you break down that, it said they came from the heavens.
Right.
So and then also, so where they came from, the streets were made of gold.
Right.
And powered by gold, monolithic gold.
Right.
So even today, say if we were to wear monolithic gold, it would basically prolong our life.
Right.
And that's the true story of why kings during that time wore gold and why gold was considered so valuable.
Right.
Because life, that's the most precious thing to anybody, it's life. So if they wore gold, they wear gold. That's why our ancestors had gold chains, gold rings, gold, everything was because they figured the more gold flowing through their body, the more, because the things that you put on your body also goes into your skin.
Right.
And stuff like that. Like if you ever seen somebody wear fake jewelry,
Right.
their skin turn green. That's
Right.
evident proof
Yeah.
that what you put on your skin goes into your body.
Well, the Egyptians talked about that on the hieroglyphics
Right.
back in Kemet, where they was and they actually was painting the beings green.
Right.
They
Well,
were-
so that's the thing too that they
Yeah.
said, because if you eat monolithic gold, eventually your skin would turn green or blue. So they actually ingested the monolithic gold as well. As they believed that's why their skin was green.
At one point in time, we had the green hue.
Mm-hmm. And them babies are born like that. You ever seen them babies born with the yeah.
Right.
And when the baby's born with their backside be kind of like green. I done seen babies be born and they backside kind of like has their green, their green tint to it.
Green tint, yeah.
So I guess it's kind of like this melanin is kind of like another form of like chlorophyll, like what the plants use, like the chlorophyll to make them green.
Right.
Yeah. So okay. So we were also talking about, just to kind of catch you up, we was talking about the atoms.
The
You want to
atoms.
kind of give them like a recap about the atoms
Okay,
and the
so
evolution?
so if you guys missed the other episode, atoms is terms that atoms actually mean, like the name atom was actually an allegory for the word atom, ATOMS, atoms, and that's why Adam was first, because the world, in order for the planet to be created, it had to be composed of atoms. So and then Eve representing evolution. That's why the name Eve short for evolution. That basically without her, without the creation process, no evolution would take place.
Right.
So that was the basic symbols of, Adam and Eve and stuff like that. What's your take on it?
I don't really have a take right now, man. I'm just taking it in.
I got you.
Taking it in.
But this
And
say
it's
he was
all
a student.
good.
Yeah, he said he was
It's
a
all
student.
good.
Definitely like to listen. I like that too. I'm a student. I like to. I never consider myself the master of anything.
Yeah.
Though other people around me might be like, "Oh, brother, you got,
Yeah.
this, and that."
Yeah.
I feel like if I stay in a student position, I'm constantly learning. I'm in
Yeah.
a place of learning and constantly elevating.
Yeah.
And constantly progressing and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So even
Definitely.
talking about talking about like the Adam and Eve story or whatever. So let's talk about the punishment, right? So everybody talk about this punishment of man and the punishment of woman. Does anybody remember what the punishment for man was?
Basically, he was going to toil the earth.
Toward the earth.
Yeah, right.
And have to provide for his family for the sweat of his brow, right?
Right.
What's the punishment of woman?
Childbirth.
Paying for childbearing.
Praying for childbirth. Yeah.
Why are women taking on the punishment of man and woman today?
Because she's both.
Okay. You want to expound on that?
She's man and woman. Just my thing by nature. She's both. But you see her body, she has the female anatomy.
Right.
She's basically both of those within.
Right.
The man and the woman. So I look at the word, I like words, him and her. You have mother, father. You both have her.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying, when you say our father, I think you're really talking to your mother.
Mhm.
It's written in the book of what was given to us in a lot of allegory
Mm-hmm.
that's in there. And Elohim, Him,
Him, right.
him. You have to
We
be
were
him.
talking about that last episode.
Her
Yeah.
and him.
Mm-hmm.
So you got mother and father to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's mother, father, what is it, child? How they do it in the Holy Trinity, Father,
Son and the Holy Spirit.
And the Holy Spirit.
Mhm.
Where's the mother, the woman, the womb?
She's been removed. Yeah.
So when you say father, I think we're really saying mother.
Mm-hmm. Because that's where it starts with XX chromosome.
And I'm looking at the word her.
Yeah.
And him.
Yeah.
H-I-M.
And I'm sorry, I'm going to
No,
cut you
I
off.
was going to expound on what he was talking
Go
about.
ahead. Yeah.
So actually, if you look at with the word, if you look at Jesus, they said Jesus had paps.
Right.
So going to what he was saying. If you look at the word paps, it is an ancient archaic word, which particularly refers to a woman's breast.
Right.
So in Revelations, it says Jesus came down with paps.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, again, we're speaking metaphorically and allegory. We're not talking about actually.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you look up that word, and then what a woman does when she gets a wellness check, what is it called?
Paps.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So in the ancient text, it says he had paps.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just to say that. But what it's saying metaphorically is as representing the masculine and the feminine energy. You can find another scripture in the Bible where a lady feeding, and he said, and she pulled out her paps. You know what I mean? So some might argue and say, nah, that ain't, you know, like, no. If you
So what you're saying is paps is like another way of saying breast?
Right. For one, not specifically a woman's breast.
Okay,
specifically.
Got it.
So you can Google this up, you can research, then go to your Bible, look up the scripture, and it says, you know, there's a scripture.
Cross-reference, y'all. Don't take our word for it. Cross-reference. Always cross-reference.
Right. Check it. Look into it yourself.
Yeah.
You know? So just to go what he was saying.
And even to expound on that, I always had a problem when somebody tell me that I came from somebody's rib. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way I could have came from somebody's rib.
That's the cloning process.
That's the cloning process, you know. But even with that, I have, all of my body functions function, you know. And so even when you know, because I often question, you know, why do men have nipples? Why do men have nipples? Because I know mine is to feed my offspring. But what is the man nipples serving a purpose for?
Temperature.
Temperature? Is that what it is? The temperature check? Oh, okay. Because you know, but you know, so even when I'm saying that, I'm like, okay, so this, you know, they, you know, men have body functions that it doesn't function.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So how can I came from something, and I have like all of my body functions, all of my functions work? You know?
Right. I mean, same thing. They talk about junk DNA too. What is junk? Who makes a car?
That's not junk.
Huh?
That's not junk.
All right, it's not junk at all.
Yeah.
So who makes a car with junk parts? Who has a car and just says, "Oh, don't worry about the extra parts right there in the car. That's junk parts."
Yeah,
like,
that's junk part. Even talking about like because some people, I was reading somewhere where they were saying, you know, like everybody was able to make their ears move. You ever met somebody that can make their ears move without nothing, right? Yeah. So, you know, even just like living out in nature, like even back then, and so it was said that we was able to do that, to like adjust the sound or whatever. And this is like part of the fight or flight response. Just the same way it's like how your hair stand up on the back of your neck when your hairs is scanning the environment, you know, to activate your amygdala, right? Your fight or flight response. So it was saying the ears would do the same thing, like to kind of do that. So some people today can still move their ear. I can't do it. I can't do it. So this is another thing what they would probably call junk DNA. Yeah. You know, like so just kind of expound on it. But yeah, I always was thinking about the punishment of man and woman, because even throughout the Bible or a lot of different texts, I see they would, you know, demean women because they say that we the ones that made y'all eat the eat off the forbidden fruit.
Due to the fact that we live in a patriarchal society, and you know, we know that's all European.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, the origin. Well, if we all don't know that. If y'all don't know, now you know.
Yeah.
Look up the origin of that. You know, that we come from a patriarchal society.
Yeah.
And not every society is patriarchal.
Right.
There's other societies that's matriarchal.
Yeah.
And a lot of our societies, ancient societies, were matriarchal.
Right.
So yeah. Yeah.
Even in the animal kingdom, a lot of people compare everything to like gorillas and lions and stuff or whatever, and but they never talk about like the love monkeys. What is the name of that monkey? The actual name of the love monkeys. The bop. Hold on, y'all.
I don't know why I was thinking about punch monkeys on the Crocs. I'm left field.
It's not called. It's called. Hold on. I'm about to tell y'all right now. Oh Lord.
But while you're looking for that though, speaking on the matriarchal, you also see like look at the ants. The queen bee, even the bees and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those are also matriarchal societies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I always say, my thing is, if we ever want to know the truth of how we should be moving, is to look at nature.
Right.
You know what I mean? We look at nature. Nature's always going to be the guide and always going to be the key, you know,
because
to understanding.
And nature doesn't have no type of motive.
Right.
She don't have no motive. Like, you know, it's like she doing what she do. It doesn't matter. She not trying to gain nothing. She ain't trying to lose nothing or nothing like that or whatever. And man tamper with words. And I often question words, like even from the beginning. I used to get slapped in my mouth all the time at church because I'm asking. They say, don't be questioning God. Don't be questioning God, but... Right. Our ancestors, they follow nature. They follow the stars. They follow the planetary systems. They follow these different things. And I like to believe, I think that spirit, Allah, God, whatever y'all want to call it, universe, whatever, left these things into play because they knew that these people, like human or human or not, whatever, was going to tamper with words. So they left these things to communicate with us. Like, use different ways to communicate with us. We could go outside and smell a certain smell. Rain is coming. You could look in the sky. You see a certain color. It's going to be a sunny day. You see different things. And I think that spirit communicates with us through all these different aspects. And we don't have to necessarily look at the book. Because even when you're talking about like the birds in the sky, the way they fly in the platoon, they didn't go to bird school.
Right.
Nobody went to birds and nobody read a bird book, right?
True,
How do we fly perfectly in this platoon like this? They so in tune and in touch with nature. And while we sitting in front of the TV waiting on the news to tell us when it's time for us to evacuate.
Right.
Right? The birds been gone.
Right.
The birds been gone. The animals been gone. So it's very important that we get back in tune. But not to get off topic, I'm really trying to see what is the actual name of these love monkeys. Let me see.
So, yeah, that makes sense though. That makes sense what you're saying in terms of formation. It's a lot of we out of tune. That's what it seems like. And so my question to be, I guess, is how do we get back there? How do we,
get back connected with nature? Get back, and a lot of people are. Because I think that the frequency of this planet is raising. I think that a lot of people are coming out of this matrix. A lot of people are waking up. A lot of people are. A lot of people going on these jobs and stacking their money and investing in themselves. You one of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So like a lot of people like coming out of here. I don't know what your occupation and stuff like that is, but a lot of people are waking up and like, nah, like we ain't going for that. Nah, we finna plan our own stuff. Nah, we finna grow our own stuff. Now we just, so.
I just wish it happened soon enough. I know I gotta trust the process.
Yeah.
And wait, but it just be like, man, it's just slow.
You just have to stop being unnatural.
Yeah.
Because you were taught the unnatural.
Yeah.
You said like the birds, the breeze, the trees. I was taught by a Muslim. He told me a simple definition of Muslim is by nature. He said, take a look around. We, as the label, I don't like the human or whatever that term because it stagnates you. There's a lot of junk that comes with human. But he said everything does what it's supposed to do by nature except us.
It's deep.
It's the teachings.
Yeah.
You're right.
So if it's an individual thing, you got to start with yourself.
Right.
All of your teachings or whatever, you have to sit down and detoxify yourself.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
Read. You got to get out in nature.
Yeah. Connect. Yeah. Ground. Right. Be grounded.
You know what, though? When we go back to the serpent, going back to the Adam and Eve theory, I believe that, again, that's what the serpent was saying, we'll be like gods, knowing good and evil.
Right.
Consciousness. So these animals, they're just in sync.
Right.
By us, having that consciousness, we can kind of choose to be in sync or out of sync. You know what I mean? We have the choice like gods.
Right.
We can do good, we can do evil.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that's the key point that in that scripture that he was saying, you will not die, but you will be like God.
Right.
Knowing good and evil.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the key point, is that we have to basically live in our God self.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not our devilish self.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And move towards that by any means necessary.
Yeah.
Because and we in a society, they're trying to feed us so much poison.
Yeah.
So much junk.
Yeah.
So much filth, whether it's TV, the food,
yeah.
everything around us.
Everything's so sexualized.
Yeah.
Everything. It could be a simple commercial about eating oranges, and they're gonna find some type of way to sexualize the oranges, and it's ridiculous, and it's not going over these kids' head, right? These kids are with it, because I remember even looking at some of the old pictures, maybe your grandparents' pictures and stuff like when the pictures were black and white, they kind of had their red tint. These babies were born with their eyes closed. Now, these babies are born with their eyes open. They coming out with their eyes wide open.
It's the medicine.
Mm.
And just look at that word, medicine. It's
Mm-hmm.
more like magic.
Mm.
So when you take these pharmaceuticals, what does it do?
Make you act out of your norm.
Hmm.
Make you act out of your norm. Like nothing, yeah. Yeah. So I just want to hit everybody with the fun fact. You ain't know that real quick. Some stuff that they probably ain't know. You ain't know that. You ain't know that. So we have the Bible that would tell you that the woman has to bleed for 7 days because she ate off of some forbidden tree and ate some forbidden fruit off some forbidden tree. But what if I told you that the reason that you have to bleed is because your body have to produce enough blood for you and the baby? You have to think about the fact that you have to carry an extra human in the inside of your body. And on the months that you don't use that extra blood, your body has to release that extra blood. And this is the reason that you have to have a menstrual cycle, because you have to release that extra blood that you did not use from being impregnated within that month period. So no, it has nothing to do with the apple. Did y'all know that? You ain't know that.
You ain't know that.
You ain't know that. You ain't know that. Has nothing to do with that. And that's a fun fact. That's a fun fact right there.
Yes, Lord. So, ready to bring them to the disconnect?
What would you say the disconnect is?
I would say the overall disconnect is that all these books are saying the same thing.
They are.
And everybody's arguing over which people are killing each other, which people are hating each other over that. And it's the same thing. These book was made for each different culture.
Right.
And basically to make it relative in a way that they can understand.
Right.
So there's two levels to it. There's the carnal level, the face value level, when the people that think actually this person walked here, they
Right.
walked there, and stuff like that.
Right.
It's over 4,000 names in the Bible. And I always ask people, show me one grave. Just one.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna ask for Jesus because he's gonna say everybody gonna say you send it up.
Right.
Show me the grave of Luke,
Yeah.
Mark, Matthew,
Yeah.
any one of these grave sites.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Most people can't prove it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it further illustrates that these things are just an allegory.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that and if you don't believe that, still we have to have the mindset to not poop on somebody else's belief and idealism.
Right.
Like, we don't need a book to teach us how to love one another.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but get out of that, shift from that cognitive dissonance and recognize, like, hey, this is a good person.
Right.
This is a good guy.
Right.
This is a good lady.
Right.
You know what I mean? And leave it at that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the disconnect is the understanding of what these books really mean.
Right.
And not living it into what it means to you.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that's in my opinion, that's the disconnect.
And to expound on what you're saying as far as my disconnect, the way I always like to explain it, which you already you always hear me say this, is I always look at it like I'm a surveillance security person in Walmart, right? And in the inside of my office I have a computer monitor. And on my computer monitor I have different angles of different cameras from all around the store. Why would I subscribe to one lens?
Right.
If a robbery or something happens, why would I subscribe to just this one camera lens? I'm not going to get the whole picture. You need to come off of the monitor and look at all of the different cameras from all the different angles so you can see the big picture. And that's my place. So when we have these discussions and these conversations, my thing is, it's not about being right or wrong. I'm not here to be like, oh, you right and I'm wrong, and this and that, because it's the same thing as those cameras arguing and fight with each other. My angle is right and yours is wrong. Well, my angle is right. It doesn't make any sense, So we can come together and just respect, and that's the disconnect for me, because I think that, just to kind of touch on what you were saying, like we need to respect the diversity, from each other, and learn how to work together and like a orchestra.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So before we go, definitely, brother, we appreciate you coming out. Brother Fife, we'd like you to tell us about, what you do, your contacts and stuff like that.
Right now I'm still in the building process, and my main contact is like Wildlife, because I'm running through a little run. But basically, I do Fife and Drums, which is a casting agency, and I'm trying to build from behind the scenes. I want to teach the children how to work the camera and come in and do what we do instead of just being in front of the camera, just basically being the product that
Right.
they package and sell to you. And it's also with my casting agents, I want to go out and solicit like businesses. I don't want to say black, white, Mexican, Chinese, just businesses or whatever.
Right.
Anybody that can get in with us, me or whatever. If we actually do talk, when I do talk to people, because I don't do a lot of verbalizing right now, because I learned when you tell people your ideas or whatever, they might be with it.
That's
Then
true.
again, you got those thieves.
Yeah.
And I've been through that.
Yeah.
So I'm just, like I say, man, I like to observe and sit back and watch. And with my thing, there's a certain subject that I like to cast. And so I'm not looking for any and everybody. Just my thing is like self-casting. When I walk outside, I can see, and it goes back to the scriptures or whatever. And it goes back to the allegory. And you said earlier, we talked with the symbols. And
Right.
all of that, I'm saying is pseudo-psychology. And how do I disconnect? I got rid of the pseudo-psychology, meaning those images and so on. And I'm still aware of the images because they're still here. But,
Yeah.
I have something, cooking up for that too.
Yeah.
So.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. 10-4.
Yes, indeed. So again, y'all, we thank y'all for tuning in.
Thank you. Thank
Make
you.
sure y'all following us on all social media platforms, Facebook, the Disconnect Podcast, same as Disconnect Podcast, IG, TikTok if it's still gonna be around.
I know, right?
Yeah, the Disconnect Podcast _ and now we just actually created the YouTube page, so it's up now, also at the Disconnect Podcast. So once again, we thank y'all for coming out. It's beautiful. Tribe, keep building. We're going to keep building. We're going to keep connecting. Make sure you leave any type of comments, any feedback, any ideas on topics that you think we should be building on. We're here for it.
Absolutely.
We're going to make it happen.
The podcast, they're bills and
heels.
I have learned to piece together pieces that you broke. I can see through all of the deceitful things you wrote. I have managed cracking all the secrets to the codes. You swerved into my lane like you were sleeping on the road. Said we weren't indigenous and brought us here as slaves. Wrote yourself in her story and tore us out the page. Trying to cover up that you're the one that's out of place. Then wonder why my people wildin' out and in the rage. Bitch, you lied. We've been certified. My ancestors own this shit. I know that hurt your pride. I'm witnessing truth and lies unfold before my eyes. Present in the flesh, oh what a time to be alive. Understand that white folks not our only enemies. We got those against us that still look like you and me. Just because you talk that talk don't mean you're fooling me. Cause I don't need a savior long as I stay true to me.